Hello again, my name is Rodney Reynolds and welcome to another video review. Today I'll be looking at the Matrox Parhelia 128MB video card. What is included in this package is the manual, some software, and drivers. You also have the appropriate cables, as well as a DVI to VGA connector and the video card itself. Now these cables are used in really dual head functions. Right here is where the main one goes into. You would just plug either a DVI capable display right into here, or if you have a regular VGA, you can use the DVI to VGA on that. Now once you have that in and connected, you can choose of course to have other displays. Now this is how it's done. This would go plugged into here, and then these would go to the appropriate displays. They're labeled 1 and 2, so it's very clear and very easy to know which one it goes to. Also, they have a VGA to S video out, as well as a composite video out. This card comes with 128 megabytes of 3.3 nanosecond memory. The memory is at 275 megahertz or 550 DDR. The core speed on the video card is 220. Let me just highlight some of the really cool features about this video card. One of them is called the Ultra Sharp Display Output Technology, and this simply means that there's amazing 2D quality coming out of this card. That is not uncommon for a lot of Matrox cards. However, they have really gotten the 2D down to a science in this one. Also, with regards to 2D, there's a 10-bit gigacolor technology, and what that means is you can display 1 billion colors at one time. Good for possibly upcoming games, as well as any kind of Photoshop work or any kind of graphics work really. Also, there is a 16 times FAA, that's fragment anti-aliasing, and what that does is really, it means it's going to have very low impact on 3D performance, but it will clean up all those jagged edges. Another technology in this is called Glyph, spelled G-L-Y-P-H, anti-aliasing. What this is actually hardware anti-aliasing for text. And what it does really is it makes a text really sharp, and you can also do a font rendering with gamma control. So again, some amazing 2D quality aspects to this card. Also, there is a 64-bit super sample texture filtering, and what that does, it means that there's more texture samples per clock, and so it means better image quality. Also, it has hardware displacement mapping, and that technology is actually used in DirectX 9, the upcoming DirectX from Microsoft, and hopefully that will speed things up as well, because what it does is it's a really powerful way to render 3D geometry. Now, one of the key features to this video card is dual head and triple head display. Of course, having more than one monitor, 2 or even 3 monitors at once. Let's now have a look and see what 3 displays together can look like. This will really give you some idea how large a desktop space is in this configuration. I have 3 displays here. You could have CRTs or LCDs, of course, of any size. Now, my desktop starts over here on the left-hand side, and it ends right over here, way over on the further screen to my right. Now, just to give you some idea really of how this works, I'll just drag a program from one all the way over, and as you can see here, a really large desktop to work with. Now, why would you want to have a desktop this huge? Well, I'm sure that stock market folks would love to have something like this. As well, of course, you could use it for anyone who really wants to have a lot of programs open at one time and have them open on a full screen. But as you've just seen here, this is just an incredibly large desktop space. This is the Matrox Reef demo, and this really gives you some indication how cool this visual surround actually is. Really, it's one large image spanned from monitor to monitor, and not only does this apply to this kind of demo, you could do this in gaming as well. Games that does support this will have this very cool effect, and you can just imagine playing a really cool game with this enabled. To test the 3D performance on this card, I will be using 3 programs: 3D Mark 2001 2nd Edition, Quake 3 Arena, as well as the Comanche 4 demo. Now in all these results, I will be using a Pentium 4 based system at 3 gigahertz, and the video card driver version is 103230. And the result is 5135. The settings I will be using in the Quake 3 Arena will be a resolution of 1024 by 768, a color depth of 32-bit, the geometric detail is at high, the texture detail is at max, the texture quality is 32-bit, and the texture filter is trilinear. And the result is 74.5 frames per second. In the Comanche 4 demo, I will be using these settings: screen resolution of 1024 by 768, the color depth is 32-bit, texture compression is checked, disable the VSync is checked, as well as the hardware shaders are checked. And the result is 19 frames per second. Overall, this card is simply great. It has those 3 displays which you can hook up all together, giving you some huge amounts of desktop space. Also great for gaming, however, it's going to be pretty slow when you hook 3 displays up in games. This card is very expensive, and one other drawback with the card is that it's a little lacking in 3D gaming performance. Now, this could be for the fact that the card is new and the drivers are not yet quite mature for the 3D side of things. However, the 2D on this card is astounding. It's simply amazing, especially with the option to go 1 billion colors. A lot of people who are into Photoshop or into any kind of graphics applications would simply love this card. As well, again, going back to that 3 display, anyone who's into graphics normally has all kinds of screens open. Having 3 screens would help that. And also anyone who's really into the stock market, having all kinds of screens open on different displays would give you really what you need to get all your work done. Overall though, this card is simply great. Again, my name is Rodney Reynolds, and this has been another video review. Be sure to check back very soon. I will have a new one for you then. Also be sure to pop into my website at www.3dgameman.com, and while you're there, go into the forums. You can go in there and register. Registration is free. You can leave your very own suggestions and comments, and you can read about all kinds of information about all the products which I video review. Until the next time, take care.